how many reports do we actually have in the Figaf tool? Reports and documents that you can use to do some kind of work. I actually have no clue. So let's count them together and see what we come up with. Okay. If we start with the migration PI to CPI, we do have the migration report where you can get data about current processing statistics. Here you can get information from our system and about number of systems that has been processed, messages, Iflow, receivers, and number of messages towards the end here. So really a useful report for things. One. Let's see how many I'll be able to count. Then, well, we also have a Neo to Integration Suite migration. Here we can select the landscape we want to talk from and migrate to, and we can export this as a CSV also. That's 2. If we still talk about landscape overview, we have the landscape overview. Here you can see a landscape, what you have, and you can download this. That's number 3 as a CSV, and you have both for PI and API management. Cool. Okay, so then that is those objects. Let's then try with the migration here. Yes, so if we select a PI system, we cannot export this. I would imagine we may be able to export all of this. We can download this module management report. This is number 4. Here we have a list of all the changes that have happened to our communication channels because we needed to do testing in some way. If we go to test suite, we can go on that test suite and we can see here the last results. This is number 5. We can download this report. 5. And here we can see how the test suite was running, what we are seeing of problems, etc. on this scenario. Good. If we are still on the testing result, we can also go in here, open the test case. Here on the testing result, we also have the option to generate the same report, but just at a lower level. I guess this will not really count. We will not count it. And these reports you can get as Excel, or you can get them as CSV. So let's see, anything else I needed to consider? Test suite, test cases, runs. I think out here in the test runs, you can also download a list of all the different test runs that you have made. That's number 6. So we can see we have run these scenarios. What were the ignore expression? So this is really good if you have a large number of test cases and running EDI and want to see how things is going on. We have a polling progress. Here you can see how it is going with downloading messages. We do not have any reports on that because that is more like initial runtime information. On our PI landscape, or on all of these landscapes, we can export all of these objects that we have here as CSV. So that's number 7. So how many objects kind of thing on all different objects that we have here. Yeah, this is a little longer report, I guess. So we have all the different objects and what are the tags we have. 50,000 lines in this report. Okay. On the PI, we also have an ICO here. We can go in here, we can look at the scenario documentation. That's number 8. Here in the scenario documentation, we can see all the data that you normally will be copy-pasting back and forth between your system. Sender, receiver, communication channel, parameters, etc. Okay. We also have on the message mapping, external mapping, So we have message mapping. Let's see if we can find something that looks identical. So when message mapping, we do have a report here. You can say here, compare message reports. That's number 9. On this report, we can then see how 2 messages compare from each of the different scenarios, or 2 or more messages compare. You can obviously create it just for one, or you can create it for multiple different scenarios, and then you would be able to see how this performs. Okay, so that's the message mapping report, and I guess you can also go in and do that on an individual one and just get it for the specific scenario. Actually, you may even be able to do this on 2 versions of a mapping. So let's say we have this one where we do have 2 versions of it. Let's see if we have made any changes here. Compare internal payload, message diff report. I guess this is still the same. It is just between 2 different versions. We can easily go out here and see if there's any difference. So there was something about some context that was added to the phone number. Not sure what. Anyway, cool. If we go to CPI, I think we do have the same mapping reports here. Compare message mappings to see what the differences are between those. They will still be in the same category. Value mappings. For instance, on Iflows scenario documentation, this is number 10. Here we can see the current scenario, what it's based on, what are the different communication channels we have in it, what are the test cases we have, flow, how is it configured in our landscape, and what are the different resources in this one. So that's 10 reports. Let's go back. So that's the Iflow. Let me see here. Mapping report, new, migration, landscape. I think this is it. For API management, we don't have these kind of things. For API Hub, we do have different scenarios. We can go in and we can compare versions here, see what was changed. Sometimes we can do it with the Swagger, and we can see that there was an MDI Delta token added. Cannot recall what that was, but that is just one. That's I don't know. Is that a report? It's called 11. Cool. Yes. So that's the API. For API Hub, we do not have too many content there. As specific objects, obviously all of this is CSV, that does not count differently. If we look at the message monitoring, we do have an option here to export a subset of the messages that has been processed. So in this you can then see, this is number 12. You can see the number of messages, what are the external properties that we have set for this scenario. The last one, we have the system reports. We cannot extract data from this, where we can see how many messages has been processed over a given period of time. And finally, we do have the EDI message monitor. This is something that would allow us to access messages back in time, more than the 30 days, and we can export this as a CSV. We can also download the individual messages from this. So here we get some more detailed information about what are these messages, and then yeah, we can use that also to download it out here from one of its feature payload that has been found all earlier. If we go to the tickets, we can export all of the tickets. Should we add all the tracked objects? And then maybe this is a long one. So here we can see we got this ticket. It has assigned these objects into it. So with this, that was number 13, we do have quite a large number of information about all the different tickets that we're doing with all the different objects. And we can also do it without. If we open a ticket, let's take the other one here. Here on the ticket, we have the testing result. I guess this is the same one. We have a report here we can generate based on the flow we have. So here we can see the messages that has been processed. For a given scenario, what are the objects, what were the messages that has been tested, what's the test, and what's the result, and who approved these different scenarios, and when were they imported. So that's all a lot of extra information that we're getting from this transport. And if we are on the transport also, one of the details we can see is download this parameter report. This will give us information about all the parameters that we are going to change as a part of this flow. That's number 14. And this works also for PI communication channels, where you would be able to export this and see, okay, have we configured everything correctly when we're going to move this into production. Create transport with latest history. We do have like details about download the traces here. Yeah, let's not count that one. Good. So 15, that's the transport list. Here I can export this as CSV with details about all the different transports that we have, where in the landscape, who approved it and who imported them. We have the configuration object. The releases, we don't have any reports on that one. You obviously have my actions. You can see what you are supposed to be doing. Not sure if it counts. We do have the audit log and ability here to do different kind of audit logs. That is number 15. Yes, I think for now this is it. So let's keep it with 15 different reports. I do think that is pretty well from such a tool. And I think a lot of these will obviously make it really useful for you to understand what's going on in your landscape. How many objects do you have? Who has changed these? Extracting these things, put them into whatever tool you need to understand what is going on. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and if you want to learn more about what we can do to simplify your life as a developer, so you do not need to spend time on creating all of these different reports yourself manually. Thank you.